Hello, I'm Sophia Soliloquy. We're going to talk about BDSM impact play, a general overview. I'm a 37-year-old sadomasochistic submissive and practicing service dominant. So I'm also a heavy bottom. I've been there and done that with impact play, and I noticed that a lot of people are kind of confused as to like maybe what impact play really is, how to do it, and this will be a two-part series, so this is what it is. Impact play is basically any kind of play in BDSM where you impact somebody. You know, a spanking, a paddling, a whipping, a caning, anything like that. Not to be confused with sensation play. Sensation play can turn into impact play very quickly. You can go from massaging to deep impact play, which is like, you know, causing deep muscle stuff, you know, like getting a deeper hit on somebody. So basically, let's start with safety. Safety is very important. Safe words are very important. I see in a lot of DOMs and subs come into like BDSM and not use safe words, and that's fine. You know, I'm not here to tell you what to do, but I am here to say that it is very important, and I tend to see that people who are a little more serious about BDSM tend to use safe words a lot. And the most common safe words, and the ones I'll talk about, are just the green, yellow, and red. You know, and even with those three words, you can have, you know, two meanings per word. So like, you know, green could mean go or start again. Yellow could mean slow down or stop for a second until I tell you green. And red could mean stop or, you know, completely done. I'm done. Get me the hell out of here. So it's very important to kind of use safe words, in my opinion, because it's an open line of communication. And you know, you can still do everything that you want to do. You can be stubborn. You cannot call safe words until you feel it necessary. But having something as simple as green, yellow, and red, and having like those variations means a lot. And you basically, once somebody calls a safe word of any kind, you can always reaffirm with them, like, okay, so what do you mean by that? You know, and of course, if you're gagged, I always recommend using some other form of safe word that is, you know, first take the gag off so I can communicate with you. Or, you know, if you're not like willing to do all that, then maybe give them something in their hand so they can drop it, or a clicker and have them click it, and different combinations. But safe words are very important in BDSM, in my opinion. So basically, where can you hit somebody? The butt, for sure. The back of the thigh, yeah. The upper torso minus the spine. You can hit them on the lats, basically, like the wings. You know, to the left and to the right of the spine. And you want to kind of stay away from the kidneys as well. So there's kind of like an upside down cross going from your tailbone to the neck, and of course across the bottom where the kidneys are. I know that, you know, some people see love handles there and they think that it might be okay to hit them there, but really you don't want to hit somebody in the kidneys with something too hard, because there's nothing to protect it. There's no real muscles there. It's just a straight shot to the kidneys, and the next thing you know, they're in a bad state. Also, you want to stay away from joints, like where your wrists and your elbows are, and your armpits, and the backs of the thighs, the knees. I mean, not the backs of the thighs, but the backs of the knees and the ankles. You can also hit them on the hands, but keep in mind that through my experience, I can tell you that being caned or whipped on the feet or the hands is more of an arthritic pain. It lasts a lot longer. It's an instant deep pain because those are just a bunch of joints. And you know, you have to be careful with joints because, well, they're joints and they're exposed. They have nothing to protect them. And of course, a lot of nerve endings are there. And sometimes a lot of veins and things like that go over that area. So you can do a lot of damage by hitting somebody in the nerves. So be careful with the hands, the feet, and all the little joints and stuff, and the kidneys and the spine. So other than that, you know, you just kind of want to take it easy on anything except the butt. And I've seen people break pretty thick paddles on their butts. I don't think that everybody can do it. People register pain a little bit differently. And of course, some people bruise a lot easier than other people do. Some people, you know, their skin breaks a lot easier. Some people do not heal very well. So these are all very important things to communicate in a negotiation prior to the impact play scene. You always want to make sure that somebody is going to be okay with it. If they're restrained and you go overboard and you don't respect their safe words, I just don't think you have anything to do with BDSM. You know, it's more of abuse than it is fun and play. There's good pain and there's bad pain, and then there's traumatizing somebody because you're just a sadist and you don't want to control that. I like to control my sadistic behavior, so I use safe words and I do a little research. And I recommend you also do research. Don't just take me on my word and, you know, replay the video 1,000 times. I'm not a doctor either, so I'm not trying to tell you that this way is the absolute guaranteed way to be safe during impact play. You can go from being just a sensual scene to a deep massage scene to deep impact to impact play to what they call edge play, not to be confused with edging. Edge play is anything that heightens the danger, because it's an already inherently dangerous practice, BDSM. So anything that heightens that danger is known as edge play. So basically, we want to stay away from, you know, getting too crazy too fast. It's called 0 to 60. Not a lot of people can handle it. So you kind of want to just take it easy, open up a line of communication, and go from there. So as far as positions are concerned, it is different when you're spanking somebody and they're standing up as opposed to when they're sitting down, as opposed to when they're bent over. Like when you bend over, your muscles, you know, get really tight around the skin. You know, when you're standing up, they're really jelly-like, you know, so it's not really the same thing. You can end up hurting somebody or creating more of an impact than you intended to, depending on the position and the tool that you're using. And we'll get into that later. But an idea is they typically separate, you know, the impact play in a stingy or thuddy sense. So you have stingy, which is obviously like a sting, and thuddy, which is more like a deep impact. And so any combination or variant in between can result depending on the toy that you're using. Generally, denser objects or thicker objects tend to be more thuddy, as opposed to thinner objects or more lengthy objects tend to be more stingy. So without getting into the various different toys, you have canes, crops, paddles, whips, and of course floggers, which are probably a lot of people's favorites, as well as paddles. You know, paddles are a lot of people's favorites too. But yeah, so any variation or combination, depending on the material that it's made from, can cause a different sensation and a different result. And what you can expect, you know, is basically someone's going to bruise a lot easier on their first impact play scene than they will as opposed to like doing it once a week. You know, you'll see some results, you know, the first time for sure, and it'll probably be pretty dramatic comparatively speaking to what you're going to see later. But that does not mean that they have not experienced the exact same amount of pain, because as a heavy bottom, I can tell you for sure, I have experienced a lot of pain, and it does not show. You know, it shows in the moment, it looks really bad, but then it goes away and it's gone the next morning, and it's really sad. So I also recommend that if you like to have bruises, you limit your impact play to, like, you know, once every month even, you know, or once every 2 months, depending on how serious you want to get, because those bruises will go away. And as far as like the blood clotting and stuff like that, you're not going to die from a blood clot on your butt cheek, from what I understand. And I believe it because I've had, you know, my butt completely covered in, you know, blood clots underneath the skin, or bruises as you might see them. They're also bruises, so that's all a bruise is. It's just blood going up to the surface, and then it kind of just like washes, you know, itself away over time. So it looks dramatic, but it's really okay. It's nothing to go to the doctor with. And basically, you're going to want to look out for any kind of like lasting pain, any kind of nerve pain, things like that. You know, there's good pain and there's bad pain, and you want to make that clear by using your safe words. So I hope this video helps, and leave a comment. Don't be a hater, and thank you very much.